Hey guys, it's Simmy, and this is Pro Wrestling Unlimited as we are here on the 16th of January 2020 to talk about everything that went down tonight at the Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill pay-per-view. Yes, the Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill pay-per-view was on tonight, and I'm going to say it right now, and don't misconstrue this. I'm not saying I didn't like the show. What I'm saying is there were 10 matches on this show, and this felt like a long freaking show. 3 hours. I didn't watch the pre-show. That would have been 3.5, but this felt like a long show. Like they got going. They were about 3/4 of the way, and I'm like, damn, there's still a ways to go. There's still a number of matches left, and because I didn't even realize going into it, even though I did preview it this morning, that there were freaking, 10 matches, I mean. Sorry, I got a message that caught my eye and it screwed me all up. But anyways, a lot of matches tonight. There are 10 matches, like I stated, 3 hours, and it felt all of 3 hours, if not more. So that's a negative. But a positive, there's a lot of good wrestling. A lot of good wrestling. And, well, we're going to talk about all that good wrestling, whether you're watching here on Twitch, twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, or watching on YouTube, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. Remember, you can support us in a couple of different ways. You can either support us right here on Twitch by either hitting that donate button down below, by giving us some of those Twitch bits, or with a subscription. You can subscribe one of two ways. You can subscribe either with a tiered subscription or with Amazon Prime, because if you have Amazon Prime, then you can subscribe to any Twitch channel you want for free with Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to, no extra charge at all, because you're already paying that $12 a month or however much it is a year for Amazon Prime. Also, remember, if you are watching on YouTube, you can support us a couple of different ways, either with a super chat or super sticker. Remember, all super chat donations do get read on the air, or by becoming a channel member. And all you got to do to become a channel member is go down below, and where it says subscribe, right next to it, it's going to say join. Bada bing, bada boom, you can be a channel member. But with that, like I stated, tonight was hard to kill. I didn't see the pre-show. All I do know is that Brian Myers did defeat Josh Alexander. But as we move to the main card, Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown. Oh, remember this. Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown are on commentary now for Impact going forward. They are the commentary team. Also on the pre-show, Madison Rayne did officially announce she is retired from professional wrestling. So all the people that were asking me, is she just getting a new role in the company? Is she going to be a producer? I don't know. But she is no longer a wrestler. Also, she said recently she's graduated from college and she is taking a job outside of wrestling. Granted, if she does work for Impact and wants to be a producer, that's only about 4 days every 2 or 3 months. So we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, she is no longer a wrestler, and her status as far as working with the company is still unknown, as her husband was promoted to a senior position within Impact Wrestling. An opening video recapped Omega and the Good Brothers versus Swan and the Motor City Machine Guns feud, including a little video from Alex Shelley saying, hey, I don't have COVID, I don't have any actual injuries, but something unavoidable kept me from being able to travel to Nashville. I can't be there. So I don't know if that means Alex Shelley's not going to be on tonight and the tapings this week, so nothing for the foreseeable future, or if he's just couldn't be there tonight but can get there maybe tomorrow or something. Mystic Eternal in the Twitch chat has a really good question. He says, will Impact be live now or tape? So pay-per-views for Impact are all live. Pay-per-views, I don't think the Impact Plus specials are, but all pay-per-views are live. Everything else, pre-taped. This week, they're taping about 4 to 5 weeks, if not more, starting tomorrow. Also want to thank Callus Expense, I hope I said that right, for the super sticker donation on YouTube. Really do appreciate that. But with that, they talked about Moose becoming the new teammate to Rich Swann. Rich Swann talked about his issues with Moose and how Moose has wanted to take him out for months to get to the Impact World title. And basically Scott D'Amore told told Swann, hey, do you want to win? Because Moose, all he cares about is winning. And that's our best bet, is putting one of our best wrestlers in this match to replace Alex Shelley. And so Moose is the guy that will and could and should help you pick up that victory. Take a drink here real fast. All right, let's go. The first match we had was a mixed tag team match. It was the Decay, Rosemary and Crazy Steve against Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K. Also, something to note is for a long time now, Rosemary has been tied with Taya. But now that the rumors of Taya leaving are afloat, they just put Rosemary back with Crazy Steve. So that's an interesting tale. Anyways, Decay reunited on the last episode of Impact as Rosemary was having issues with Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K, so Crazy Steve came to her rescue. Story of this match was that Caleb was a doofus of a wrestler, but a cheating doofus that would cheat as to whatever cost it means to give him and Dashwood the upper hand. Not too much really happened in this match, to be honest. I think Caleb went for something that he calls the Wazap headbutt, and Rosemary countered it, tagged in Steve. Later on, when they managed to cut off Steve from their corner of the ring, the heels got the best of it, but then he countered when Dashwood and Caleb tried to take a selfie. Finish of the match saw Steve and Rosemary hit Dashwood and Caleb with green mist, respectively, leading to Steve hitting a second rope DDT to pick up the victory. Okay match, okay opener. What can you say? For me, it was a negative, to be honest. I thought it was okay, but I didn't think it was good, which is, to me, a negative. You can have okay matches, but you need good matches on your pay-per-view. I get it, some matches are going to be lame duck matches, but you don't want lame duck matches on your pay-per-view. And I'm not saying this is a lame duck match, but I didn't care for this match at all. And the Caleb character just doesn't work as a wrestler. He works better as a manager type guy, because the whole point of him in this match was like, oh, I can't really wrestle that well. I don't know what I'm doing in here, blah, blah, blah. So Matt Striker and D'Lo Brown ran down the rest of the card for tonight as we moved on to a 6-man tag team match with old school rules. Still not sure what that means. I guess it just means this was a hardcore match, so why not call this Monsters Ball? So early on, well, actually, the match, I forgot to say, was Violent by Design. The team of Eric Young, Joe Doring, and Cody Deaner taking on the team of Tommy Dreamer, Rhino, and Cousin Jake. And I think they only referenced him when he came out as Deaner, not Cody Deaner. So that was interesting. Where was I? Sorry, I saw something in the chat that got my eye. Adami, we've already talked about this. You've messaged us about it. You've texted us about it. There's no need for us to talk about it again, as we've already brought that up, talked about it, and this and that. So, but we will be talking about that because we want. All I'm going to say is we're looking to do some game changer stuff here soon on the channel, possibly, if it all goes according to plan. Going forward with this match early on, they really built up Deaner versus Cousin Jake and their confliction. Rhino versus Doring was another thing that they were really building on. And then, well, there was Eric Young and Tommy Dreamer in this match as well. After many minutes of brawling outside, Doring confronted all three babyfaces, wheeling chairs. And while he took some damage, Doring was able to bring all the babyfaces down like the big monster that he is. His match-long story was that no one could get him off his feet, not even with dives. It would take a gore from Rhino to finally do so. Towards the end of the match, all men took turns taking out each other, starting with Dreamer dropping EY with some thumbtacks. But after everyone had their turn, it would be EY, Eric Young, that would drop Cousin Drake with a pile driver to pick up the victory. Oh, this was a pretty good match for what it was. It's just a hardcore match to get Tommy Dreamer and Rhino on the show and show that, hey, Eric Young, Joe Doring, and Diener are violent motherfuckers, and they'll do anything to beat people up. So at one point during the match, they would occasionally cut to a tri-screen look, showing different angles at one time, and I was kind of like, I get it, because there's 6 people, 3 matchups going all at one time. It was okay, but a little distracting. Mystic with a good question here that relates to this match. Do you see Eric's new faction like or similar to Sanity? That's a tough one, because I could see where people would compare the two, but I don't. I don't see the two as similar. Maybe a little similar, but the thing here is, and I don't know if WWE would have allowed them to do this, these guys are way more violent and more about just hurting people and not just attacking people from behind and being, I don't even want to call them creepy or scary in NXT, but no, I could see where people can compare Violent by Design and Sanity, but I think there's 2 sides of the specter here. There's the heel group that likes to cause chaos, and then there's the heel group that likes to invoke violence and beat people's ass. And Sanity was the ones that was like, we're going to do things to disrupt the normal. And then that was Sanity. And then there's Violence by Design that's just like, we don't care what people think. We just want to go and beat people up and injure people no matter who they are. So the 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. I guess you can maybe say similar, but very different. So going forward, we got a segment with Swan and Sabin meeting with Moose. Swan told Moose that he didn't trust him. He said that it should be Willie Mack in this match instead, but Moose injured him. Moose explained that he hates them both, but when it comes to Impact, he bleeds Impact and won't allow any outsider to come in and disrespect his promotion. Moose says, hey, I'm here to win. Here to pick up a win. Next up, we have the match to crown the new / first-ish Knockouts Tag Team Champions. It was Fire and Flavor, Kira Hogan and Natasha Steeles, taking on the team of Havoc and Nevaeh. I thought for what this was an okay match. I could say it was good. I wouldn't call this a great match or anything, but I think all 4 women did work pretty well. So we had this long, drawn-out tournament to get to this match, to get to the finals between these 2 teams to finally crown these champions. And the story of this match was Nevaeh and Havoc have the power. Hogan and Steeles, well, they've got the speed advantage. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. So early on, Havoc and Nevaeh were dominating. That was until Hogan and Steeles managed to double team Havoc from behind while the referee wasn't looking. That then managed them to cut her off on their side of the ring for a little while. Things got a little bit weird because it was Havoc getting beat down by these smaller women. It's kind of like in WWE when, I don't know how to explain it. It's like you got Nia Jax getting beat up by, I don't want to say Mandy Rose. Yeah, I guess a Mandy Rose. And yeah, Mandy and Dana together can take down Nia. But it's like by themselves, no. And that's how it was here with Havoc. Havoc was getting taken down by these women individually. Like they at one point did double team moves on her and stuff, but a lot of times it was them holding her and keeping her down. So a little bit unrealistic to me because of the size difference and everything, but they really played up that Steeles and Hogan are way faster than Havoc, and that's what played into this. Also weird seeing Havoc play the babyface in Peril. Even though, and then that's the other thing I don't know. Because I try to watch Impact every week, And it's not like these women are on Impact every week, but are Nevaeh and Havoc heels or baby faces? Because they come off like they could be heels, but at the same time, a lot of their matches are against the heels, and they may be the baby faces. I don't know. Where was I with this match? Hogan and Steels were consistently moving, constantly attacking, quick tags in and out. By the end of this match, it all made sense when she made her comeback, Havoc that is, and tagged in Nevaeh. The finish would come a couple of minutes later after Nevaeh got tagged in, when Hogan would just pin Nevaeh while Steels held Havoc on the outside. Kind of a where'd that come from finish to me, but hey, we got new champions. Gail Kim and Madison Rayne would then come out to present them with the tag team titles. There was a spot. Oh, no. Hold on. What did I write here? Oh, no. Never mind. So, yeah. They got presented the titles. They stood on the ropes, the turnbuckles, celebrated. And this is the first time of the night where I realized that crowd noise? Are they piping in crowd noise? I don't think Impact's done that yet. I don't think Impact's done that before. Piped in the crowd noise. But they did it for this match, and or at least for this celebration. I don't know if I really what's the word I'm looking for, heard it throughout the rest of the show, the fake crowd noise. So going forward, got a backstage segment where Decay approached Taya Valkyrie, and they were like, hey, we're going to be in your corner tonight. And Taya's like, well, I really don't need you in my corner. And they go, no. We're not here to help you cheat or take out Purrazzo, but that little whatever she's got in her corner, those two, we're going to help you against them. Because if they try to get involved, we're going to take them out, and there we go. So Taya's going to have some backup. So they start running down, that the next match is the X Division title match, and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, Ace Austin's music hits, and he comes out with Madman Fulton. Austin cuts a promo and says, what would Hard to Kill be without me? Well, not a good show. I've been relegated to nothing but the pre-show, talking about some stuff like Brian Myers versus Josh Alexander. What is this? I won the Super X Cup. That makes me the number one contender. I'm demanding that I get put into the triple threat match tonight. Make it a four-way. Not Don Callis. Scott D'Amore, where are you? Scott D'Amore comes out and goes, hey, you have a valid point. You have a valid point that you could be added to this match, but this isn't the way to go about this. You want to be put in the match? You come to my office, you talk to me, you do it professionally, and then we'll go from there. But just coming out here and demanding in the ring, that's not the way we do things. But you say you're ready? You say you're ready to go? I got a guy that you're going to face right now that's always ready. And out would come Matt Cardona. Yes, the former Zack Ryder has made his Impact Wrestling debut tonight. Matt Cardona came out here, and the two had a fast-paced match that didn't really last long. A lot of back-and-forth action. It was all built up to Cardona getting close to winning before Fulton would interfere and attack Cardona, causing the disqualification. We had heard that Cardona will be working the upcoming tapings. Don't think he has actually signed with the company, but it looks like whatever he's going to do at the tapings is going to build up something with him and Ace Austin. Mystic Eternal says, I really thought he signed with AEW. No, he didn't sign with anybody. And they made that abundantly clear that he had not signed. Like Tony Khan made it clear. No, we didn't sign Matt Cardona. Next up, we got that triple threat for the X Division Championship. It was Manic defending against Chris Bay and Rohit Raju. And there was a spot in this match that I was just like, are you trying to tell us we're stupid? And we'll get to that. So, Manic, was defending his title here. And these three had a really good match. But I felt like, to be honest, even though he shouldn't feel like this, because he's amazing, Chris Bay felt like the extra and the odd man out, to be completely honest. Because the story of this match was all about the whole Manic Rohit Raju storyline. So, commentary sold this kind of perfectly, as it was the brawler against the technician against the high flyer. Rohit and Bay never pretended to be on the same side, and they all just fought each other for the most part. There was a spot in this match where Rohit and Manik were wrestling, and all of a sudden Rohit pulls the mask off of Manik, and you hear the commentary go, "Oh my God, his mask is off! Who is that? Cameraman, please zoom in on the face of Manik." And he pulls his hoodie up, right? And then when he stands up, he's got face paint on, and they go, "Who is it? We may never know." And they go, "We what? May never know?" Fucking TJP. You know Manik's TJP. We all know Manik's TJP. Don't play stupid, just say it. And finally, D'Lo later was just like, "Oh, it's TJP." I was like, "Yeah, thank you, D'Lo." Because I think D'Lo said TJP a couple times, and Matt Striker's like, "Oh, no, you mean Manik." And D'Lo's like, "Sure." So, where was I? There was a great spot in this match where Manik went for a Mamba splash on Rohit, but got caught midair with a springboard cutter by Chris Bay. By the end of the match, all three men traded near falls, constantly stealing the pin from the other after they hit their big move. They had a throwback to how Rohit once stole the title from both men. It would be Manik, though, that would get the win with a snap pin on Rohit after he had been done in by Chris Bay. So I thought this was a really fun, well-worked three-way match for the X Division Championship. Unfortunately, though, I did feel like storyline-wise and whatnot, Chris Bay just felt like the odd man out, the extra guy. Backstage, Alicia Edwards pleaded to Eddie, "Let me be with you. Let me come out there with you. I want to be in your corner." And he's like, "No. I don't know what's going to happen to me in this match. And if I get beat up so bad that I can't come home, I need you to be there for our daughter. I need you to be able to go home and take care of her. So, don't even come out here. Like, don't come out." She goes, "Fine. I won't come out during the match." Spanish Goddess, thank you for the super chat donation. We will read that a little bit later as it pertains to the main event. But I do want to mention it and say thank you for the super chat donation on YouTube. So, where was I? Going forward, we have the Knockouts Women's Championship match. It was Deonna Purrazzo with Kimberly and Susan. Like, how many fucking characters is this Susan, Susie, Sue Young gonna get? Against Taya Valkyrie with Decay. So, there's kind of a history here. After Taya and Rosemary were eliminated the team of Purrazzo and Lee from the Knockouts Tag Team Tournament, Purrazzo decided to go after Taya. Purrazzo is out to show that she is the greatest Knockouts champion of all time because everyone says Taya's the greatest champion as she's the longest reigning champion. Taya said, "I'm going to reclaim my path on top of the mountain." The match really, really early broke down, and at one point, Kimberly is just holding Taya at ringside, like got her arms locked and everything. And I'm like, "Ref, fucking DQ her." Yeah, she hasn't punched her or anything, but she's putting hands on a competitor. Fucking DQ. What are you thinking? And then Rosemary attacks. Crazy Steve tried to do a little, but didn't really want to do a little against the women. And then eventually, Kimberly and Susan kind of run off. Crazy Steve and Rosemary chased them away. Once everything got under control, the match broke down and was a really good match with these two women. Purrazzo cut off Taya early and started working her left arm as well. It's usual for Deonna Purrazzo. She does that Fujiwara armbar. Yet this time, though, Purrazzo started targeting Taya's legs as well, which kind of threw Taya off guard, I guess you could say. And she would lock her arms and legs up a couple of times, and then she would pull the leg into a half Boston Crab. In return, Taya tried to do some ground and pound striking and even some submission work of her own. She would at one point hit a big slam and a suplex, cut off Purrazzo's offense. The damage wasn't enough though. At one point, she got a close pinfall with a Road to Valhalla, but her knee buckled going when she went for it the first time. So she had to change up her offense, and this is when she went for some more submission-based stuff. She also went for a curb stomp that wouldn't require putting much weight on the knee. The finish of the match, though, came when we saw Taya go for a comeback and Purrazzo hit the La Mystica. This brought down Taya into a Fujiwara armbar. She finally knocked in the Venus de Milo, the double Fujiwara armbar, and Taya verbally said, "I quit, I give up, I'm done." I thought this match could have gone a little longer. I thought it was a little shorter than I expected, but for what it was and the length it was, once they did the stupid, hey, we got these 4 people at ringside, got to get them out, then the match got really good, and then it just came to the finish. And I was like, damn, I wish there was about 5 more minutes in this match because it was going really good, and I thought it peaked a little early. I really thought that it could have just had a little more oomph to it. So after the match, Taya cried in the ring as she was favoring her shoulder. This is possibly Taya's final match in Impact. So we got a comedy skit with AC Romero and John E. Bravo. Earlier in the night, we saw AC Romero go into the women's locker room, the Knockouts locker room. He goes to Bravo and he goes, Larry D didn't, yeah, he shot you, but I think he was framed by one of the Knockouts. And he said he's got some sort of cologne or perfume or something. I don't know. I didn't really pay too much attention to this because it was just too wacky. Talking about too wacky and something I didn't like, though, Karate Man versus Ethan Page. This is horrible, in my opinion. I know there are people online that loved it. I didn't like this one bit. The story behind this is that Page had a mental breakdown, and he and Alexander couldn't get back the tag team titles. And, well, there was nothing much to this match. Just Ethan Page doing a bunch of kicks and punches, like a 1992 Mortal Kombat game, and the Karate Man doing kicks and punches back, and a lot of, I guess you can say, choreographed maneuvers to make sure that the punches from one Ethan Page character hit the other Ethan Page character. I thought this was terrible. I don't know why they needed to do this. Ethan Page is so much better than this. And Karate Man technically picked up the victory. I think he ripped Ethan Page's heart out. Did that. We're talking about, games like Mortal Kombat stuff. The fatality. Cinco Saturday says, so does that mean tonight was Taya's final match? Possibly. There is a chance she works the tapings this week, but if her contract is up, this could be her final match. So, Don Callis met with Moose backstage. Callis put Moose over as one of the biggest, brightest stars of Impact Wrestling, the best they have. He also stated that, he recently gave Moose a new 2-year contract, and that Moose's future is very bright. But he needs something from Moose. He needs Moose to be a brother tonight and not go out there and hurt Kenny Omega. He said, we can't be doing anything bad to the world champion. And he said, but if something happens and you do something to the world champion, I got this contract. I'm contractually obligated to do things that I don't want to have to do, And Moose told Callis, hey, I'm only out here to win a match. I don't care about anything else right now but winning. Once I'm done with Kenny Omega, though, maybe I'll go get Swan's title and then show up at AEW and go for Omega's title. And I go, oh, fuck. Who the hell wants to see Moose and Kenny Omega? I don't, because I'm not a Moose fan. I don't think Moose is that good at all. I think Moose is very overrated. And now they're teasing Moose coming to AEW to challenge Omega for the title? Please, God, no. Please, God, no. Thank you to Spanish Scottish for the super chat donation. He says the All Elite Ethan Page match was poop emoji. Basically saying that it was shit. Then we had a match that I was a little conflicted about. I thought these two guys worked hard and had a great hardcore match. But I, myself, didn't really like the match. I think they just went maybe a little too far with the hardcore barbed wire stuff, which I get it. That's what the match was. And they worked that match for what it was. So for this being a barbed wire massacre match, they did everything you would expect in a barbed wire massacre match. But I just honestly never fully got into the match. This feud goes back years. Everything we've seen with Edwards and Callahan, and they're bringing in Alicia and Shamrock and all that. Cool. The ring's surrounded by barbed wire. We got a cage wall with barbed wire on it. We got barbed wire wrapped around some of the ropes. We got barbed wire on a big old board table deal at ringside. Barbed wire wrapped around chairs. Barbed wire wrapped around 2x4s. Like an old CZW match or an old CM Punk versus Raven match from Ring of Honor, or actually all over the world. CM Punk and Raven brought that feud all over the world, like to many different countries. Anyways, actually, first CM Punk match I ever saw, I think, was a hardcore match between him and Raven in like Germany, maybe? Might have been the UK, somewhere overseas. The first, take that. Think about that. The first CM Punk match I ever saw was him versus Raven overseas in some sort of a hardcore match. I can't remember exactly what the match was, but I remember before the match, there's a promo that CM Punk cut saying that he's better than everybody here. He was in the freaking lobby of the arena. Like, I'm better than all of you guys here trying to buy your alcohol. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs. I'm better than you. Yeah, that was my first introduction to CM Punk many years ago before he was in WWE. Anyways. The story of this match was that Edwards was wrestling angry. He was a hothead and couldn't control some of the things he was doing in the ring, thus working recklessly, taking bigger risks than he needed to be taking in this match, and Callahan would take the advantage off of that. Edwards was playing in quote-unquote, as I think Matt Stryker at one point said, Callahan's sandbox. And if he wanted to win, he needed to control himself and maybe do more of a quote-unquote wrestling match than stooping down to Callahan's level. Match did get bloody pretty early. It was a couple of minutes that Edwards wrapped barbed wire around Callahan's forehead and cut him up. Edwards was busted open a couple of minutes after that when he went for a tope suicida and Callahan caught him with the barbed wire board that he crashed through. The brawl continued with both men trading control, utilizing some of the special weapons at ringside, like a Nintendo 64 controller wrapped in barbed wire used by Sami Callahan. Edwards used a chair wrapped in barbed wire at one point, and then at another point, both men tried to make this more like a Japanese-style death match by wrapping their fists in barbed wire. There was a cool spot where Edwards and Callahan had their hands on each other with their each other's signature weapon, I guess you could say. And they decided to trade before going at it. I was like, kind of funny, but stupid at the same time. I don't know why I called it a cool spot, but it's like, I used the board, use the chair, swap, now we can hit each other. I guess you could say a respect thing. Towards the end of the match, we got some big near falls, though. One where Callahan hit a pile driver off the second rope into a barbed wire board, and Eddie Edwards kicked out. We had a call back to the eye accident, but this time the bat was wrapped in barbed wire, only for Edwards to block it with a low blow. He hit the BKB and the Emerald Frozen for the victory. Emerald Frozen on, I think, through a board, but also a chair wrapped in barbed wire. I can't remember exactly. I thought this match was really good for a hardcore match. Very bloody, very brutal. But I never fully got into it. I'm going to say that right now. I never fully got into it. Yet, I think I'm beating a dead horse here. For a hardcore barbed wire match, I think these two worked really well. But I can't just say, I didn't like it, this match sucked. I can't say that. Because I respect what these two did for the style of match they worked. After the match, Alicia came out to help her husband to the back. Then, we got a segment where I don't know if Stryker knew what was going on. All he said was, next time we join you here on pay-per-view will be in April. Then they ran a commercial that said the next pay-per-view was Rebellion on April 24th. And then they come back and Stryker goes, we hope to see you back here on pay-per-view in April. Didn't mention April 24th. Didn't mention the Rebellion pay-per-view name. It was just like, what? Do you not know what they just played? Fucking Matt Stryker. But then, we move on to our main event. AEW World Champion Kenny Omega teaming with the Impact Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers. They take on the team of the Impact World Champion Rich Swann, Moose, the self-proclaimed TNA World Champion, and Chris Sabin. And here's the thing. So this match is getting going. Like, everyone's coming out. Babyfaces came out first, And then the Good Brothers come out, and they're wearing Bullet Club logos. Gallows has got it on the back of his jacket, top of his singlet, side of his pants. Anderson has it on the hood of his hoodie. Kenny then comes out wearing the frickin' Halloween pumpkin Bullet Club T-shirt. And they made sure to let you know, hey, we got Bullet Club logos on tonight. Now, remember what Tama Tonga said recently, and I'm going to pull this quote up because I think it's very interesting. Tama Tonga said recently, quote, what got me triggered was when I saw Kenny Omega go, Bullet Club. Oh, son of a bitch, you, the one guy who tried to dismantle us from the inside, split us into two. The guy who tried to ruin Bullet Club is now using Bullet Club in an angle, a reunion. How can there be a reunion when Bullet Club is still here? Reference to Japan. They should have called it something else. All of y'all have gone and tried to do different things in other companies. No matter what, you're not Bullet Club. That's a slap in the face to us. If you're the OGs, Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, and you're promoting this as a Bullet Club, damn, dude. You'd also go on to state, y'all do your thing and do whatever the hell you want, but do not call it Bullet Club because you are not Bullet Club. Are you going to come to Japan? And that's a reunion for us too? Nah, I'm pissed off. They sold out for a quick buck. Once a sellout, always a sellout. For people saying, oh, the Elite is spreading the Bullet Club name? No, the Elite is spreading the Elite name. That's how it was always. That's how it always will be. So, I don't know what this is leading to, but they for sure wanted us to know they were wearing Bullet Club on their gear tonight. Like, Kenny got in the ring when he got tagged in and literally did this and goes, look at my shirt. Look at my shirt. Gallows had a big-ass Bullet Club logo on his belly the entire match and on his leg the entire match. So it's like, I don't know what the hell this is leading to, but they for sure, 100% for sure, wanted us to know, hey, we got Bullet Club logos here tonight. What this is going to lead to, who the hell knows? Because there was no angle after the match. Match ended and it was just over. So Alex Shelley was supposed to be in this match, as we all know. He got pulled out due to unfortunate circumstances, and Moose was his replacement. So this match goes all the way back to December when Kenny Omega won the AEW World title thanks to the aid of Don Callis. The next week, he made his first appearance on television as the champion on Impact. And immediately following that, would reform a little unit with Gallows and Anderson. Now, Moose looked probably the best I've ever seen him tonight. Like, Moose worked hard. I'm going to give him that. I'm not a Moose fan. Don't really like Moose that much, but I got to credit Moose tonight saying, hey, Moose knew that this was a big moment match for him and that he was going to have a lot of eyes on him tonight that may not have been on him before. And so he stepped up. I will say that. So the match had an interesting layout. Both Sabin and Swan worked babyfaces in peril, but in between each of that, the Impact team would have crazy babyface comebacks as well, with all men running with wild dives and triple team moves. Storyline-wise, mostly everything was said before the match, and they just had a match. At one point, Omega was going for pins really quickly, like he would knock somebody down and immediately go for the pin. And Gallows and Anderson would not go for the pins. And they mentioned this on commentary. They said, whoa, do you notice what is going on here? Gallows and Anderson will do something, immediately go to Kenny, and Kenny would come in and try to get that pin. Like, they want the world champion to pick up the victory here. Like, Tony Khan said, oh, Kenny can be on the show, but he has to win, kind of thing. I don't know. That was an interesting move. Whereas with the other team, whenever someone would knock somebody down, they just try to go for the pin. So this match broke down at one point, and it looked like Kenny was up in a... So Swan was on the ropes. Kenny was up on the ropes. Moose comes over, grabs Kenny in an electric chair spot. Kenny slips out. Kenny picks up Moose, tries to go for the one-winged angel, but Moose is too tall, and he can't grab him. And so Moose gets out, picks Kenny up again. We do an electric chair kind of doomsday device thing. Kenny kicks out after Swan hits a 450. But then in the end, it was Omega hitting the one-winged angel on Rich Swann. Remember that to pick up the victory. I thought this was a good match. Everybody delivered strong in this match, even Moose. Now, after the match, Gallows and Anderson get out of the ring, and Kenny's kind of like laying there. And he's yelling something at Rich Swann, and I didn't get all of it. And he says something like, I'm coming for you in that title. Something like that is what I heard. So, this further built up Kenny Omega possibly eventually challenging Rich Swann for the Impact World Championship. Because that's the story here. Kenny said he wants to collect belts. That first belt he wants to collect outside of the AEW World title is the Impact World title. Now to the super chat that we got earlier. This person says, Moose outshines Swan in the main event. Sorry, they need to get that belt off Swan and have Moose. Hold on, it cut it off here. They have to get that belt off Swan and have Moose versus Kenny at Rebellion. I mean, they basically did tease that big that Moose wants to go after Kenny Omega. But I don't know what a Moose Kenny Omega match would be and if it would be that good. With that, guys, that was Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill. That was a show that felt long, but overall had some really good wrestling. So I will give it that. But now I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you thought of tonight's show. And you can do so by texting into 510-906-1341. Again, that number is 510-906-1341. This person says, what does Josh Matthews' position as a senior producer mean? I don't get it. It just means he's got more of a say in the company, I guess. I don't know exactly what he's doing now, but basically what he's doing is he's more busy backstage and he can't also be doing commentary. It's just something where he's got more. I don't think he's in charge like Don Callis and Scott D'Amore are, but he's like right under them, I believe. Says you are correct. They did only reference Cody Deaner as Deaner tonight. Also, was the show that I should watch or stay away from based on your assessment of every match. I mean, if you like hardcore wrestling, go watch that barbed wire match. If you like just good wrestling, main event was really good. The triple threat for the X Division title was really good. I thought the women's knockouts title match was really good. Even the women's tag title match wasn't bad. So there was some good stuff on the show. And if you've got time to spare and you want to order the pay-per-view, go for it. I mean, I'm not saying, I never said it was a bad show. I'm just saying that it does feel all that 3 hours. It does feel like all that 3 hours. It does feel long. This person says, Tim, I think it is wrong that Gallows and Anderson came out with Bullet Club gear and they are not Bullet Club. Tama Tonga will be mad. Fuck yeah, he's going to be mad. I read you his comments from like a week ago. Fuck yeah, he's going to be mad. Also, Matt Striker at one point said, tonight? Hold on. I'm going to get the quote. Because this is stupid. What did Striker say? Hold on, I have it here in a message I sent. Striker said, tonight is one of the most important nights in our sports history. I said, for what? Because Kenny Omega's on the show? Huh? Striker also said, and I quote, this is our sport, or this sport, our sport, will never be the same. Referencing to what Kenny Omega and Don Callis have been doing. Excuse me. How the hell are Kenny Omega and Don Callis doing anything that is going to change all of professional wrestling? All of professional wrestling everywhere around the world. Fucking Matt Striker. That's all I'm going to say. Hara Bubba says, hey, Tim, Matt Cardona was an AEW superstar. No, he was a guy they brought in for like 4 matches. He was never signed to the company and never set to work there a long time. But Matt Cardona can go do whatever the hell he wants. Matt Cardona can go work a GCW show if he wants. Kevin Gerhart says, so does Taya come to WWE and join Morrison finally? I mean, that's the going sentiment that WWE wants her. I say throw her in NXT because if you're going to bring up Rhea Ripley soon and maybe a few others, you need some more women down there in NXT, and she would be great to help those younger women in NXT. Yeah, she'd be really good on the main roster as well. I'm not saying that, but I think some of them women down there that need more experience would benefit tremendously from having a person like Taya as an opponent. And this next text message here does state, actually, it's the last text message. Do you think tonight was a way to turn Moose face? I certainly do. I do think so. They really played up a lot of babyface things with Moose tonight. As far as him being for the company, being Impact through and through. But with that, guys, I want to say thank you for joining me here tonight as we talked about Impact Wrestling Hard to Kill. Again, I thought this show was a pretty good show. It felt long. It felt like 3 hours. But in the end, I was satisfied with what I watched. With that, thank you for joining us here at twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, youtube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited. You can follow us on Twitter at PW Unlimited, facebook.com/Pro Wrestling ULTD, and on Instagram by searching for Pro Wrestling Unlimited. So with that, guys, have a great night, and we will be back here live on Monday following Monday Night Raw. Have a good one, guys. All right.